What is up, YouTube? And today we're going to be talking about the character that you see on your screen here, Doki Doki. Now this character is taking the game by storm. People are finally seeing how powerful she is for both PvP and PvE content. She's extremely powerful because of all of the utility that she provides in her skill set. She has this purifying, which is very strong in this backup buff. This will make it so that before an ally takes their turn, if your Doki Doki has a stack of this, you will purify 3 debuffs, which is insane. You also have Data Stream, which you can apply to your team. It gives up to a total of 30% damage and 30 speed, which is insane when it ramps up. And this S3 is also just a turn meter push. You will push your team's turn meter 1 at a time, 8 times for 12%. This will usually push your entire team up by around like 30%, which is very good, especially when you are trying to play with a slower team comp, or even if you're playing with the faster team comp. If you build your units a little bit slower than Doki Doki but still quick, she can boost them to the front. And she also has this very powerful S2, which will reduce allied teammates' skill cooldowns, which is going to be very good when you pair her in PvE with characters such as Fushu or even Valerian, because you can give them pretty much 100% uptime on their S3, which is insane. And then of course she has this very powerful S1 because she applies that backup stack to herself, which is, in my opinion, one of the best abilities, one of the best buffs in the game that's unique. So yeah, she sports 2 of these extremely powerful unique buffs in backup and data stream, which makes her very good as a utility cleanser, and also just a very good offensive firepower threat because she boosts the damage of your team by a lot. And she boosts the utility of your other support characters by reducing their cooldowns with your S2 and also making them faster. So you can see she's kind of like a jack of all trades, do everything character besides like shield and heal. So because of that, she is amazing. Now, if you actually look at her usage in PvE, she's going to be good in a lot of areas of content. You can use her in Renkokutsu, you can use her in Sharon, she's very good. She's also very good in Nico Nana. In Thresholds, you can use her in every single Threshold because she's not elemental disadvantage. So you can use her in pretty much every single Inferno. But the biggest thing is, okay, she's a PvE unit. There's a lot of PvE units. Let's look at PvP. So in PvP, she is also amazing. You're going to see that a lot of people actually use her, especially in these turn 2 comps. You can see at number 7 here, we have that turn 2 comp. But even so, you can use her in turn 1 comps. You can see at number 8 and number 10 spot, we have them in the cleave comps, the offensive speed comps. Even at number 12, we have another turn 2 comp. So the biggest thing I'm trying to get at here is she is very flexible, which makes her insane. You can use her in turn 2. You can use her in cleave turn 1, and you can even use her in control, as you can see in 29. Why is that possible? Well, the thing is, her kit is just broken. Like, she can turn meter push everyone, which makes her automatically good for control and also, turn 1 cleave comps that you try to win with damage, with like Revelation. But also she applies a speed buff and damage buff, which will benefit pretty much both. Even though control doesn't care about damage too much, you still need to eventually kill the enemy, so it's actually pretty good. And she also has backup purifying, which is going to be very good against anything else that tries to counter your control or your cleave. For example, if you're fighting against a Tiamat, you can actually dispel this taunt right away. If you're fighting against the Holden, you can dispel the attack down and res down right away, which is very important. So right away, you can see she's already very good in cleave and control. The only thing is you don't want her to be the only fast character on your team because her base speed is at 120. If you compare it to something like a Lily's here, if I can find my Lily, she is at 127. So you want to make sure, you have another character to support her speed. Something like a Freya usually is really good because she can boost her meter, and Freya is very fast as well if you put her on Bulwark. And on top of that, if you're playing her with control or cleave, you can reduce the skill cooldowns to make them rotate into their ultimate faster. Now in turn 2, why is she so good? In my opinion, she's like the best for turn 2, one of the best characters for turn 2, if not the best, because of how she works. So basically, you just put her on turn 2 on this like Bulwark Bloodbath spread, and with this spread, you won't die to any openers, and you won't get CC'd. The only way you get CC'd is if you get this dispelled off by like an Obel S2, if I can find him. If Obel S2's first, then he can dispel it off by converting a buff. But if your Doki Doki's still fast enough at like 240, 250 speed, you can still cut as long as they don't have like a weird slow Lily to boost up the Obel, right? So because of that, she's very good in turn 2. You can stop, yourself from getting debuffed. And if you have her as the fastest on your team, you use her S3. Not only do you push up your teammates, but your teammates which are CC'd by something or aren't on bulwark, you can actually cleanse them right away because you get 5 stacks of backup, and backup purifies 3 debuffs. So you have 3 characters on your team besides yourself, so you're going to be pretty much full cleansing them for 2 turn cycles. So it's very strong. You also give them the stacking ramping buff, which is good in long fights, which is why she's good in turn 2. And then you even have this S2, which is going to be amazing to reduce, your team's skill cooldowns to make you rotate into your skills faster. So this is why she's like one of the top tier PvP RTA units. I honestly think if you have a very well built Doki Doki, she is one of the best, if not the best RTA unit to have built because she is so flexible. If you pick her on turn 1 and you've never fought the enemy before, you're not constantly fighting the same people and they don't know your builds, they will never know what to expect, right? Because Doki Doki can be flexed into so many different roles. This is like one of those characters where I wished like you had the choice to dupe your characters or not with multiple copies, because if you could, I would not actually dupe her. I would keep 2 copies, one for cleave and one for turn 2. That's how powerful she is and how flexible she is as a unit in terms of her skill set. So because of that, she pretty much pairs up in PvP with literally everyone. There's no bad characters you can pair with her. Literally any type of character will benefit from her because her kit is just so insane. So yeah, this is why Doki Doki is just amazing, right? You can build her up early and get her into your PvE teams because she is very good pretty much everywhere. And currently on the banner we have Fushu, and you can literally pair her with her and they synergize amazingly in almost every single area of content, even in Inferno, which is insane. And then later on, once you get into your farming teams complete and stuff like that, and you're starting to progress into PvP, what you can actually do is transition her into a normal PvP build, whether it be for cleave, whether it be for control, whether it be for turn 2, whatever you want to pivot into based off your gear and your characters you have. Doki Doki fits every single checkbox and can fit in any single team and is such a plug and play character. For that reason, I think this character definitely is on the rise. I think in the earlier stages of the game, she was not that good because she requires a lot of investment. You do need to max her skills out, but once you do, she becomes such a powerhouse threat. And since we're at the point of the game where a lot of the whales, especially in the day 1 players, are transitioning slowly into PvP, you're gonna see her on the rise even more. But yeah, thank you for watching, guys. I just wanted to talk about Doki Doki and how powerful she is. I'll have a video on my channel in the near future talking about how you guys want to build her in more depth because there's so many different ways to build her. But she's definitely a powerful unit. She is tier 0 in PvP, and you can make her tier 0 in almost every single PvE content if you have the right supporting cast around her. Quote unquote, just bring her with Fushu. But yeah, thank you for watching, guys. I'll see you guys next time. And let me know in the comments down below how you guys have your Doki Doki built for PvE and PvP, and how strong you actually think she is. Peace.